Today I want to talk about why I use gouache. But first a little warning, this video has quite some ups and downs where I go over parts quite a few times. Bear with it and see until the end. So why do I use gouache? Over 10 years ago I did quite a few things in acrylics too, but I'm quite a messy person, so there were lots of clothes that had little bits and pieces of color on them. I can't hold back. And gouache almost always allows you to get rid of colored spots in your clothes or anywhere actually. Second reason, I kinda love the dull and kind of matte tone of the finish. First I had like really bad experiences with it because the mixing is so hard and I was quite often over mixing colors. I had big troubles mixing some really vibrant colors. So I resorted back to some grayscale only. From that I learned to control the amount of color. Because gouache isn't 100% opaque like acrylics, you have to layer your paint. From a lot of water in the beginning to less and less water versus paint in the end. It always mixes with the stuff below, which can be used beautifully because everything kind of can tone together. If you have like one green underpainting, then every other color you put on top probably will get some of that green into it. Also, gouache allows to draw and paint quite small. Or the opposite actually is also the case, that it's harder to draw, or for me, to paint big. And it really suited this tiny room I had in an apartment where I just had one desk, had a couple of paint tubes and start experimenting without putting on an easel or anything complicated. So the size, the kind of matte finish, and any clothes would be protected, or not only clothes but the environment would be protected from my messy kind of painting behaviors. Yeah, and from there on it kind of stuck with me. Maybe I have some look into oils as well in the future, but only once I have finished this challenge. Back to the painting, you saw I went over the face and some values of it again and again. I went thicker and thicker the later I got into the painting, and it becomes very quickly kind of overworked, but I learned in the last 40-50 paintings that you have to have this mindset of painting like a millionaire. So don't feel like you have to hold back on the paints and use as little as possible because it's kind of expensive. Not holding back on the material will progress you so much quicker. You can save yourself one evening in a bar and have enough money for paints for a whole month. That's it for today. I have another one coming up for you on next Monday. Happy painting until then, bye bye.